it's like, oh, it's a war on black men. When their dirty deeds catch up to them, they say it's a war on black men. But the part that confuses me is that this war is not being waged by black women. But that's the way it's set up. The way that they would have it, have you perceive it, is that this war on black men is waged by black women.
And it's not.
It's not. But the war on black men has always been raised by the white society. White women seeing our sexual prowess, but using it like Carol Bryant did to be able to get us killed. Mass incarceration, school to prison pipeline, black women don't have anything to do with that. They actually suffer under the same conditions. Now, I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay. You get ready to go out, getting dressed, you and the homies, couple pre-games,
right?
Get in the car, y'all finna hit the spot. Okay. Has it ever crossed your mind like, man, I hope these bitches don't ruin them night?
No,
never.
False. Now I might not call them the B word, right? So let's unpack before we finish. Let's unpack. If you dealt with women in real life, you know dudes get killed behind beef that women start. Kill each other. They don't even put hands on the broad, let alone, situations that may be a confrontation between, because a woman want to pipe you up because she know all she got to do is call the law if you lose your cool. So if you've been around long enough, I'm in my early 40s. I don't know how old this brother is. And I don't know if he ever had any play from women or was on their radar before he started popping on Instagram. Because I'm going to get to that, because I was following when I got back on Instagram in the March. And I was supporting. He said a lot of stuff that I bang with. But when I see stuff like this, and then when I comment and it's muted, like I don't understand. I was just on here earlier and I could see the comments. Now I can't see them, but maybe it's because I have the whole screen. But we'll keep it pushing. And he got this dude co-signing who's never on screen. But go ahead.
Never,
right?
It's never crossed your mind that a woman could ruin your night.
I guess he doesn't have interactions with women in real life, because there's no way that it's never crossed your mind.
Ever. If anything.
You see how many times you said never and ever? Well, go ahead.
Hopefully, I can bag me a woman and advance the night.
Right. So he said hopefully. So that's making me think that he didn't have a whole lot of success. So even if you don't present a certain type of way, and I'm not the type to go, like, it is what it is. But if you saying that your first thought is hopefully, no, you can't control what they do. But if you have a track record of success, it's not really about no hope.
Enhance the night, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Women, whether they're going to the grocery store, going to class, going to the club, the thought has to always be in the back of their mind that a nigga will ruin their night.
Always? I'm not discounting. I got sisters, I got girl cousins. I was protected of my sister, even my older sister growing up. We're not going to sit up here and act like they can't go nowhere. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't have women who will argue with their husband or their boyfriend or their father to go out. And these are not, you're not even talking about young girls that have never been out. They just turned 21. Women in their 20s, 30s, married, whatever, and stay out all types of night. You don't have fun if you feel like you're in constant danger and on paranoid mode. How do you have fun doing that? I know people, men, who don't even go out no more because they don't want it, especially here in Philly. They don't want to get something crazy to happen to them. So if it's that way for women everywhere they go, then they would stay in the crib like it's locked down from the pandemic 100% of the time and only go out when they have to. We're not going to do that. And this ain't victim blaming. This is reality. Because not to make it seem like every woman that goes out gets victimized is crazy, and that they never feel safe. I'm not a woman, but it's just let's go. Let's put it in perspective. If you are nervous about going somewhere, you're not going to go there if you don't need to.
If they turn a nigga down, violence could ensue.
Right. That's a fact. Who does that? Nut ass niggas. And I just need to stop. I've been working on stopping using the word so much. I've done a lot better the past several years. And that's another note I'm going to get to about him.
Right. Physical violence or verbal assault. Mm-hmm. Right? Nigga, first thing a nigga gonna do, stupid, ugly bitch.
Yeah.
You ain't that fine anyway.
But you tried to holler.
But you tried to holler.
And he ain't lying because I've been saying this for decades. I've said it to my homies, teenagers, when we was teenagers. Dog. And these are dudes I stopped banging with. I stopped being cool with them if they was on that type time all the time. If you mad aggressive with women and you hollered at her, and then just because she ain't giving you no rhythm or no play, you want to talk crazy about her, you corny for that. Chill out. You see what I'm saying? To act like dudes never step in and never check other men and you're the only man out of the 4 billion men on the planet, what about your homie? Your homie's co-signing. So y'all the only 2 dudes in the world that check men. All right.
Yeah. And we have to acknowledge the privileges that we have as a man, that we don't have to worry about like sexual harassment.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever worked a corporate job, bro? Or maybe you did and they just wasn't worried about you. Especially with white women. And you got to take it on the chin because nobody cares, including human resources. You ever had a joint over your crib who start gripping you, get all aggressive, grip whether she's drunk or not, start gripping you up all aggressive, like, yo, chill. Or you do it. I've had my own business 2013. This is why a lot of times I don't even be with sisters one-on-one personally on business because I don't want nothing crazy to happen. I don't want you to get upset that I'm trying to focus on business because I've been there before and people know this. People know this. We're not going to do this, y'all. And you got to keep taking on the chin having your own business and you got to play it very, very carefully, tiptoe around the situation because this is your own business. I don't have a corporate job anymore. I got out of the corporate so I didn't have to deal with certain nonsense. Now I got my own business and sisters think they can carry it however they want. That's what I'm saying. And I ain't I ain't Michael B. Jordan, none of these joints that one of these dudes that these joints be going crazy over on a mass scale, but I never had no problem attracted in dealing with women that are conventionally attractive, especially as far as black women or whatever. And attracting women that I might not even wanted to deal with, or attract the women that, were of other ethnicities. So maybe he coming from a place where he never had to experience harassment or an overly aggressive woman who got upset and started saying you was acting like a virgin in your 30s with a kid just because you wasn't trying to mess with her right then and started talking crazy to you and doinking you in the face. We're not going, and this is, let's keep it.
Unfortunately, like those aren't things we think about. Women go to the club. You ain't nobody trying to roofie you, nigga.
I literally had a last year, had a bartender I wound up dealing with. Some people on here know who I'm talking about. She blocked, right? We blocked each other because it didn't go well after we did deal with each other. But I used to tell a joke because I would go into that bar for years, right? And I used to be like, if I go to the bathroom, can you watch my drink? Because I trusted you watch my drink. Don't roofie me. Because she was been giving me rhythm for a while. We just didn't deal with each other. Don't roofie me. And in the way things happened after we did stay, she a very attractive, built, people be on her top. There's a couple people on here that actually already know who I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, we're not going to do this, bro. Maybe your experience is different, but we're not going to act like this stuff never happens. You lose me when you make broad, false generalizations, especially coming from a woman's perspective. You a man, you should know better. So why you pandering to the lowest common denominator of men that exist, as if you don't know the reality? It's corny to me, and it looks like a psyop because I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah, and take advantage of you. If you go in a club right now and it was let's say me and you, we go to the club, we walk in that bitch, nothing but women, right? We're gonna be like, shit,
let's do it.
Hey,
let's do it.
Hey.
I ain't mad. He ain't lying about that because nobody want to walk. If you heterosexual, you don't want to go in and walk in on a sausage party. We've left joints. I used to go to the bar in the club. I used to bounce, right? But we used to leave just going out, whatever. If there's too many dudes in there, we out of here, dog. It's a sausage party. I'm out.
Hey,
it's a good night.
First of all, is this for the public?
Yeah. How do we get here?
How do we get this lucky?
Yeah.
It's not lucky. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is what clubs and bars do. It's just like Pac said about to Biggie. You rap for the, you know what I'm saying? So clubs, like I said, I used to bounce. I used to bounce at the joint on South Street back in 2010, 2011, before I went on house arrest and all that stuff. After I stopped working corporate, I used to bounce at a couple bars in the hood down north, down the Badlands, right? This is what they do. They promote to women. That's why they have more good-looking female bartenders. Ladies get in free before a certain time if they have a cover at all. Ladies' night, da 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 da. Come on, dog. We're not gonna act like this is not like even on some innocent stuff. Because if a bunch of good-looking women is there, or women in general, dudes are gonna come and they're gonna spend. It's disingenuous in the motherfucker, yo.
It's nothing but women here.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman and her homegirl walk in the club is nothing but men, that's a dangerous situation for them to be in.
If it's so dangerous, why they go? Come on, bro. It's potentially dangerous. But don't sit up here and act like every man. See, I should view stuff like this as projection. Not every man worried about. Some dudes go out, they just want to chill, they just want to get out the crib, they just want to unwind after work or whatever. And if they see a good-looking joint or whatever, she give them rhythm. Yeah, there's plenty of dudes that are overly aggressive. But he feeding into the false narrative that the media been painting for decades, that black men are predators, and I don't like that. Don't like it at all. Or men in general are predators, just like last year with that grizzly bear bullshit.
Like, okay, Diddy and Tory, right?
Right.
And
so that was the end of that, right? So it's crazy. Now, let me see, because the thing is, I wasn't hating on the boy. I liked.
Yeah, I want the black community to start looking at ourselves as a bank.
I like posts that's from last week, right? It's from 2 days ago. Just 2 days ago. I like this one from 6 days ago. 7 days ago. The 15th. The 14th. Right? The 8th. So a lot of his stuff was resonating. It's almost like the bait and switch, because I just got back on social media at the end of March 25th, right? He popped up. I never saw him before I followed him, right? Because he was talking some stuff, right? What else we got? Oh, interesting. I wonder if he even really. I'll just leave it at that. Look, hold up.
With Cadillac, crown rack, no panties. Old school Chevy 55 grand down, got throw the salt on the clock.
You see this? Future, you on May 2nd, I didn't see this before. On May 2nd, King Toxic, and I like some of Future music. I've never been a fan, but I like some of his music. But bro, how you go from that a couple weeks ago to talking crazy about men? So then this is the thing, right? So I had commented on the post because I saw that one of the sisters was like, let's see. Wow, I can't see. Oh yeah, Well, I can't see none of these comments anymore. This was crazy. Wow. I can't see none of the comments anymore. All right, so if you could see, here, dang. And these are some of the comments on there, but I said it seemed like he was disingenuous, but I made so the standalone comment I made, and I'll just share basically the gist of it was, I bang with a lot of points that you make, right? However, this seems a little bit disingenuous on top of the fact that I didn't say nothing before. For somebody that claims to be uplifting the black community, he OD with the N-word. I worked on saying nigga a lot less in my older years, since my mid-30s, right? So I ain't saying nothing about it, but for him to do this, and then basically my comment, it seemed like it got muted because people keep saying they can't see it. When I commented on other posts, because one of the sisters said, the only men that are disagreeing have no argument, they just disagree, or they emotional, or yada, yada, yada. They talk about stuff that's like an exception, basically, an anomaly. And so I commented, I said, well, I posted something that has evidence. and it's not one of those disagreements. So we'll see if he replies. It got that post, which was right under hers. It was like at this point a day ago, but it was like an hour after she posted hers. No interactions, but any comment I made, like somebody else says something about they didn't agree. I said, yeah, I kind of think he's disingenuous on a different comment. He's not being disingenuous, but you, see, over here, he's starting to seem somewhat disingenuous. Men have been drugged by women. Women have falsely accused men of abuse after being rejected. I'm starting to think bro is compromised. But in my standalone post, I cited COINTELPRO. I cited how they use women to successfully compromise MLK and to unsuccessfully try to compromise Malcolm X. And they got rid of them both regardless after that. You see, I took them out. I talked about the ex-NFL player, Travis Hunter, who the sister he was dealing with, right, lied to her own brothers and his homies about Travis Hunter just because he was curving her, because he was focusing on training camp. They went over there, tried to get at him, and he brought out that thing and chopped some of them down, and one of them lost their life. Not only that, in Florida, because it was confirmed that she lied, it was qualified for felony homicide for her. She got on the stand being belligerent and unapologetic, even though one of her people got taken out by that. And this man had to fight for his life, not to do life in prison, ruin his career. He didn't address none of this. This got no interaction. So I started thinking when people keep saying, so I said, I gave points. The sister whose comment I commented under about that, she was the only respectful one. Everybody all the other sisters started talking crazy, started insulting me. You know how it go. And I'm not going to argue with you. Like, see, that's the thing. I had interactions with women for real in real life since I was a young boy. I ain't just talking about my sisters and my mother and my girl cousins, right? So, sometimes they just going to talk crazy to you. It ain't no point. They might come back and admit that you was right later. I'm not going to argue with nobody that I don't know online. If we can have an upbuilding back and forth and bounce ideas off each other, maybe we can learn from each other. That's a whole different story. But other than that, I'm not playing these games with you. And the thing is, I saw the brother. So let me tell you why it's even stranger, why it's starting to look like agent activity. Because I get curious, why everybody's responding to my comments under other people's comments. Then I try to copy and paste the comment, because I put it in my memo before I even put it on the page, into the sister's comment who was respectful. It wouldn't let me post it. So, and then she even said, right? She even said, I don't see your comment. Right? I don't see your comment. She because I thanked her. I said, thank you for being respectful if you're going to disagree. And just think about the fact that it's called Grits and Eggs Podcast. Like, we can all relate to that as Black people. But now I'm starting to be like, this boy agent, because look at when he created his page. November 2024. Verified March 2025. He already got 179,000 followers. At first, I was just like, that's what's up. I even seen him last week commented on and used by, like, I think the Young Turks, a big platform. But now, when I realized that you will sit up here and argue back and forth with people who can't articulate and don't have actual valid points about what you're saying, and then everybody, well, not everybody, but most people that do see the comments under other people's comments that I replied to, a couple others, respectfully, they'll start attacking, are these your administrators? You see what I'm saying? I know how social media works. I know how YouTube works, right? It's like they don't want the knowledge, or they don't even want to address, but you want to go back and forth with the lowest common denominator, people who just led with ad hominem attacks. And you see what I'm saying? It's corny and it's disingenuous.